Hey guys, it's me. Um, so I told you that I would do a video explaining why I haven't been uploading videos on my channel. Um, Last year, around end of October to the beginning of November, I believe. Um, I was getting up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, and my son, who is 3, had scattered some of his toys. One of them happened to be one of his alphabetic um, puzzles that you place in the shape of the letter. And on that, it had a little peg on it. I stepped on it. Didn't think nothing about it. Finished using the bathroom, went back to bed. Well, a few days went by, or the next day I looked at my foot and it had like a red mark on it. Still didn't pay no attention. So a few days went by, it went away. And I was like, well, sweet. Well, then December came. Sometime through after the redness went away to some part of or the beginning of December. So basically, a few days after the 1st of November to the beginning of December, my foot swelled up. I had a hole in the bottom of my foot. I am a type 2 diabetic. And I was putting Neosporin on it. I was basically doing everything that I possibly could to not go to the emergency room. But then this pain started happening that was going from the tip of my toes all the way up my leg to the right side of my pelvic bone. My hubby, guess his sister and his brother-in-law over here. Well, his sister wanted to take a look at my foot. At this time, we had the heat on. I was freezing. To the point where I was literally shaking and shivering with 3 blankets on me. His sister says, let me look at your foot. I take my sock off and I let her look at it. She backs up. She says, you need to get your butt to the emergency room because that has a dead smell coming off of it. And she asked me if I was cold and I said, I'm freezing. She feels my forehead. She said, you're running a fever. I said, okay. Just what I'll do is I'll go to sleep tonight. In the morning, I'll go to the emergency room. She said, okay, that sounds good. So the next day or the next morning, my father-in-law comes over. My hubby, he done went to work. He puts my son, first he puts my son's car seat in his truck. And then he grabs the diaper bag, his sippy cup, then he puts him in the truck. And then he helps me to the truck. As I'm getting in the truck, I could hardly breathe. So I knew there was something serious going on. Well, he didn't rush me to the emergency room, but he didn't take it slow going to the emergency room. I believe if my son wasn't with us, he probably would have rushed me to the emergency room, but just because he was in the truck with us, he didn't want to take the chance of getting into an accident. So we get there, he says, all right, we're going to be out here in the truck. We're probably going to go get something to eat, and probably head towards the house. I said, okay, that sounds okay. So I get in there. The security guard, look, he had to check my pocketbook and everything, but as soon as he got done, he said, ma'am, I'm going to get you a wheelchair. I almost collapsed in the floor. He got me the wheelchair. He pushed me to the check-in desk or whatever it's called. I give him my info, and at this point I'm in tears because I'm literally trying to breathe, but at the same time having trouble to breathe. And then on top of that, my foot was literally killing me along with my leg. And this is my right leg. So she said, well, I'm going to go ahead and put your bracelet on you and check your vitals. So she pushes me into the, like a triage room. And another nurse, she comes in. She says, which foot is it? And I said, it's my right foot. She said, okay, can you take your shoe and your sock off, please? And I said, sure. So I take it off. At this point, where my toes are going down, my foot was turning blue and purple. And that concerned them. So they took my vitals, they took my blood pressure. It was low. They took my temperature. It was over 102. They took my pulse, my oxygen levels. What else? They took my blood sugar levels. I want to say it was high. And about 30 minutes, I'm still in the triage room. The reason why they didn't remove me from the triage room was because they was waiting for a room in the very back of the ER to open up, get clean so they can put me in there, which they did. So I get in there, and I had to give them a urine sample, which I wasn't allowed to get out of bed, so I had to use a bedpan. They had me hooked up on 2 IVs, one in my right arm, one in my left arm, because they was running fluids in me because I was severely dehydrated. Then they ran some tests on me. They said, we're admitting you. And I was like, okay. So I had to call my father-in-law to let him know. Well, the next morning, or later that night, I should say, they took me for an MRI. In that MRI, it showed a blood infection and an infection in the bone of my foot, which neither of them was good. They scheduled surgery for the next morning. The surgery was planned to take my middle toe. They did. Well, that didn't work. The infection in my blood was still there. The infection in my bones was still there. So at this point, the infection in my bones spread to the rest of my bones in my foot. Which also I had gangrene. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, I think. That was in my foot as well. At this point, it was getting close to Christmas. They have done one surgery on me, which didn't work. They did more MRIs on me. They did x-rays. They took me back down to the surgery room to do a deep clean in the wound to see if that would help with both knee infections. It got rid of the infection in my blood, but the infection in my bone was still there. The doctor told me that if I would have waited, I would have died because of the infections, mainly because of the blood infection. That would have killed me. So I did a good thing by making the right choice. Sorry about that. Then they said that my heart was racing too fast, so they wanted to check that out. So they had to put a camera down my throat to look at my heart. That checked out fine. At this point, I was ready to come home to my family. It was the week of Christmas. On that Thursday, or that Wednesday night, the surgery team came in. I told them, I said, look, I'm ready to go home. I said, y'all have two choices. Y'all either can take my foot or you can take my leg. I don't care. I said, I do not want to miss my son's Christmas. The doctor looks at me. He says, well, that's why we came in here to talk to you. We're going to have to take you back into surgery to take half of your foot. If this don't work, then we're going to take half of your leg. I said, okay, fine. Well, that morning, they came in and got me, took me into surgery, and they had to put a tube down my throat, just in case, during the surgery, if I stopped breathing or if my heart stopped, the tube was there for the balloon thingy to help you breathe. So when I came to, I was in the recovery room. I was trying to talk to the nurse, but I couldn't. It was from where the tube was. Later that night, I was trying to talk to my hubby and my son. They could barely make out what I was saying. That Saturday, or no, Friday, the surgery team came back in. I looked at him. I said, just take the leg. I said, because apparently y'all didn't get it when y'all took half of my foot, so just go ahead and take my leg so I can go home. Because at this point, it was going on 2 weeks I was in the hospital. He smiles at me. He said, well, honey, we got all the infection out. That's what we're here to tell you. I said, does this mean I get to go home before Christmas to spend Christmas with my son and my husband? He looks at me. He said, pretty much, yeah. You should be going home by Saturday, which was Christmas Eve. I broke down crying because I was happy. Well, next day comes. I had my nurse come in to tell me that this is your discharge papers. So this was around, I want to say 12 or 1. Because I remember I ate breakfast and then lunch. And so I called my cousin, her brother, and her brother's girlfriend. They came to get me. Well, they had brought my walker into my room that I got to go home with. And my cousin's brother was supposed to go to the pharmacy to get my medications that they was going to send home with me, while his sister and his girlfriend sat out in the car, because after he was supposed to get my medicines, he was going to come up to my room and get me. They had everything mixed up. They sent my medications to my doctor's pharmacy. Then they said it was back at the hospital's pharmacy. Then it was at the CVS near the hospital. And being 2 weeks in the hospital, didn't exactly know how cold it was. So I kind of took one of my blankets with me from the hospital, because my cousin's girlfriend and his sister came up to my room. And I had no jacket with me. The only thing that I wore to the hospital was a t-shirt. Of course, my undergarments. But a t-shirt over that, and shorts. And my shoes. Socks. I done had everything in bags, ready to go. They finally brought my wheelchair in. It was around 6:30. The nurse says, your medications are at CVS near the hospital. I was like, okay. I said, I can go, I can leave. She said yes. So, at this point, my cousin, he was so aggravated that he went outside up to the road where you can smoke at to smoke him a ciggy. My other cousin, she went and got her car. My cousin's girlfriend had half of my stuff. I had the other half along with my walker and my lap, while the nurse was pushing me in the wheelchair. So basically, I got in the car. We went to CVS. Got all my medicines. Went home. Wasn't really expecting to see a lot of people. I was just expecting to see, my hubby, my son, my 2 cousins, and my cousin's girlfriend. Getting in the house, my brother-in-law, his wife, and their 2 daughters were here. My oldest niece comes up to me crying, because she was happy to see me and she was happy to know that I was home. My other niece was happy to see me, but she wasn't crying. Then my sister-in-law comes in. She starts crying. Now, when my niece was crying, it got me crying. Well, after we got done crying, I was no longer crying. But then when my sister-in-law came in, she ran over to me, she hugged me and was crying, got me crying again. Now, The 2 weeks I was in the hospital, I was on liquid antibiotics. And I finished those up. Then they sent me home with the pill form of the antibiotics. And I had to take those for the next 4 weeks. Now, this is my left foot. Okay. This is my right foot. The short, little stubby one right here is my right foot. Quit trying to take my drink. I finally got a boot for my right foot. Everything healed up good. I took real good care of it. I did everything that they asked me to do. I weaned myself off the walker. I had to do these exercises with the walker. And when I got the boot, and the orthopedic told me that I could walk with the boot, but make sure that I have the walker with me. It felt so good to take that first step. It's my little boy. I'm busy. But that's the reason why I wasn't uploading any content. But I have been uploading shorts, which I now have 10 subscribers. So thank you for the ones who are new subscribers. Thank y'all. Apparently y'all like it when I do the shorts with music. So I'm gonna keep that in mind, because apparently y'all don't like it when I talk in the shorts about my diamond paintings. But I just got in some new stuff for my diamond paintings. He stole the remote. I'm gonna try to figure out how to set up the camera for my new stuff that I got for my diamond painting craft. So just keep an eye out for some new videos coming and shorts. And I hope y'all understand the process that I had to go through of why I wasn't uploading anything. I hope y'all all have a wonderful day, evening, night, whatever time it is, wherever y'all are. Stay safe, stay warm. Have a blessed day, blessed evening, blessed night. I love you all. And I'll catch y'all on the next one.